Run it back.
Gentlemen, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm going to present the next lesson, which is lesson 20, the past perfect continuous tense. Last time we discussed on what past perfect tense, the forms of past perfect and the communicative functions of past perfect tense. So past perfect continuous is different from that of the past perfect. So let me just give you some situation regarding what past perfect continuous mean. So yesterday morning when I got up, the ground was wet. The sun was shining. It had been raining. የዛሬው ይዘታችን ፓስት ፐርፌክት ኮንቲኒየስ ቴንስ ነው። ወደ ዋናው ይዘቱ ከመግባቴ በፊት እስኪ አንድ ወደዛ ሊወስደን የሚችል አንድ ኮንቴክስት ልፍጠርና እሱን አንድ ሐሳብ ለመስጠት ልሞክር። So yesterday morning I got up and I looked out of the window and the ground was wet. It had been raining. ትናንት ጠዋት ተነስቼ በመስኮት ወደ ውጭ ሳይ መሬቱ ረጥቦ አየሁትና ፀሐይ ወጣ ነበር። ዝናብ ሲጥል ቆይቷል። ዝናብ ሲጥል ቆይቷል። Look here. This situation shows about things that have been happening progressively. It means በተከታታይ ሲከናወን የነበረ ድርጊት የምንገልጽበት ማለት ነው። ሲከናወን የነበረን ድርጊት የምንገልጽበት ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ዝናብ ሲጥል ቆይቷል ስንል ድርጊቱ በተከታታይ መከናወኑን ነው የሚገልጽልን። ይሄን አይነት አክቲቪቲዎች በፓስት ፐርፌክት ኮንቲኒየስ ቴንስ እንገልጻለን ነው። So let me just have the forms of past perfect continuous from this one, that is had been plus ing. So my situation depends on this form, had been plus ing. ing is continuous or progressive, which shows an action had been continuously happened in the past. በተከታታይ ሲከናወን የቆየን ድርጊት የምንገልጽበት ነው። So the form is had been plus ing. Look here, all pronouns have used the same form, had been plus ing. That's I had been working all day. She had been working all day. He had been working all day. And they had been working all day. You had been working all day. And we had been working all day. So they commonly use these forms at the same time, it means. So this example is here. I had been driving all day. And I hadn't been driving all day. And had I been driving all day? Example is here. I had been driving all day ማለት ሙሉ ቀን ሳሽከረክር ቆይቻለሁ። ሙሉ ቀን ሳሽከረክር አልቆየሁም። hadn't been driving. Had I been driving ሙሉ ቀን ሳሽከረክር ቆይቻለሁን? Questions, positive, question and negative sentences. So we can just use this past perfect continuous in such a way, please. Another example, they have been planting trees. And question, have they been planting trees? And negative, they hadn't been planting trees. When we say they had been planting trees means እጽዋቶችን ወይም ዛፎችን ሲተክሉ ቆይተዋል። ወደ ኔጌቲቭ ስንቀይረው እጽዋቶችን ሲተክሉ አልቆዩም። ወደ ጥያቄ ስንቀይረው እጽዋቶችን ወይም ተክሎችን ሲተክሉ ቆይተዋልን? in question. So we can just use past perfect continuous on this context, please. So positive, negative and question had been plus ing. So the other, what is the functions of past perfect continuous tense? መቼ ነው የምንጠቀመው? አገልግሎቱ መቼ ነው? past perfect አንተ ተደርጎ ያለፈን ድርጊት ያለቀን ድርጊት ሌላ ሁለተኛ ድርጊት ከመከናወኑ በፊት መግለጽ ያስፈልገን እንገልጻለን ነው ያለው። past perfect continuous tense ደግሞ ምንድነው ብለው something had been happening before another past action happened ነው። አንድ ነገር እየተከናወነ ያለ ሌላ ሁለተኛ አክሽን ሲከናወን ማለት አይደለም። ሲከናወን ይሄ ፓስት ኮንቲኒየስ ማለት ነው። ቢፎር አናዘር ፓስት አክሽን ሃፕንድ ነው ያ ድርጊቱ እየተከናወነ ያለ ነገር ግን ሁለተኛው አክሽን ከመከናወኑ ወይም ከመጀመሩ በፊት ቢፎር አናዘር ፓስት አክሽን ቢጋን ኦር ቢፎር አናዘር ፓስት አክሽን ሃፕንድ ፓስት ፐርፌክት ኮንቲኒየስ ቴንስ this is progressive ነበር ድርጊቱ ቀጣይነት ነበረው ማለት ነው። So here we use such kinds of time adverbs when we are talking about past perfect continuous tense. ስለዚህ ይሄን ስናስብ ታይም ፕሮግሬሲቭ ሰርቴን ታይም ሊገልጹ የሚችሉ ታይም አድቨርቦችን እናያለን። since, for, all day, all night, all week, all year እነዚህ ድርጊቱ ቀጣይነት የነበረው መሆኑን ሊያመላክቱ የሚችሉ ታይም አድቨርቦች ናቸው። ሁልጊዜ እንጠቀማለን ማለት አለ። we depend on the context and we sometimes use these time adverbs that the activity shows continuity. It means past perfect continuous tense. Let's hear. And there is sometimes conjunctions. አንዳንድ ጊዜም አያያዝ ቃሎችን እንጠቀማለን past perfect continuous tense ስናስብ but because when so that in some other conjunctions is appropriate to join two different activities. Yes, look here. It has a result and the result was connected with the past. It means past perfect continuous አንዳንድ ጊዜ ውጤት ሊኖረው ይችላል። ነገር ውጤቱ ከአሁን ጋር አይገናኝም። ከመቼ ጋር ሊገናኝ ይችላል? ከኃላፊ ድርጊቱ ከተከናወነበት ጋር ይገናኛል። ለምሳሌ it had been raining ስንል ዝናብ ሲጥል ቆይቷል። what was the result? the ground was wet. የዛ ድርጊት መከናወን ውጤቱ መሬቱ ጭቃ መሆን ነው። መሬቱ እርጥብ መሆን ነው። and green plants are grow. yes እነዚህ አረንጓዴ እጽዋቶች ግሪን መሆናቸው ውጤቱ ሊሆን ይችላል። ስለዚህ past perfect continuous tense ስናስብ ሁል ጊዜ result is connected with the past, not the time was speaking. It means so here the past perfect continuous tense. look, example is very important. ምሳሌዎች ነው። መቼ ነው የምንጠቀምበት? ቅድም ልክ እንዳልኳችሁ ሲከናወን የነበረ ድርጊት ሁለተኛው አክሽን ከመከናወኑ ከመጀመሩ በፊት ነው። ለምሳሌ the patient had been crying all night but no one came to him. ህፃኑ ወይም በሽተኛው ሙሉ ሌሊት ሲያለቅስ አድሯል፣ ነገር ግን ማንም አልደረሰለትም ወይም ማንም አልመጣለትም ነበር። ይሄን አረፍተ ነገር ስናየው ሁለት ኢቨንቶች አሉ። ህፃኑ ሲያለቅስ ማደሩ፣ ማንም አለመምጣቱ። look here ህፃኑ ሲያለቅስ ማደሩ የመጀመሪያ ኢቨንት ነው፣ ፕሮግሬሲቭ ነው፣ ሲከናወን የቆየና ወይም ሎንግ አክሽን ነው አለ። ሲምፕሊ በአንድ በተወሰነ ሰዓት የሚያልቅ ነገር አልነበረም። ሁለተኛው no one came to him ማለት ማንም አልደረሰለትም ነበር። it means so the patient had been crying all night but no one came to him, which is past perfect continuous tense. ይሄንን አረፍተ ነገር በፓስት continuous አንገልጸውም። ለምሳሌ the patient was crying when the doctor came to him. look here the patient was crying when the doctor came to him. ዶክተሩ እየመጣ እያለ ህፃኑ ያለቅስ ነበር ነው። ዶክተሩ እየመጣ እያለ ህፃኑ ያለቅስ ነበር ነው። ይሄ ከፓስት ፐርፌክት ኮንቲኒዩስ ቴንስ ጋር ይለያያል። እያለቀሰ እያለ ዶክተሩ መጥቶለታል። ባይ ቻንስ ነው የመጣው፣ ሰደንሊ ነው የመጣው፣ በድንገት ነው የመጣው። ዶክተሩ ፕሮግራም ይዞ እሱ ለማየት አይደለም የመጣው። ፓስት ፐርፌክት ኮንቲኒዩስ ቴንስ ግን ይሄ ማለት አይደለም። it means yes ይሄ ማለት አይደለም። look the other we had been driving all day and the petrol was consumed in the afternoon. this is also past perfect continuous tense. ሙሉ ቀን ሳሽከረክር ቆይቻለሁ፣ ከሰዓት በኋላ ነዳጅ ጨርሼ ነበር ነው። ሙሉ ቀን ሳሽከረክር መቆየቱ ፕሮግሬሲቭ አክሽን ነው፣ ሲከናወን የቆየ ድርጊት ነው። የዚህ ሪዘልት ምንድነው? ነዳጅ መጨረሱ ነው። ስለዚህ ይሄ past perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense. and here ይሄንን አረፍተ ነገር በpast continuous I was driving all day when the petrol was consumed. I was driving all day when the petrol was consumed. Past continuous. So past continuous doesn't have a relation with past perfect continuous tense. Here, the very important point I want to show when we use past perfect continuous and when we use the present perfect continuous tense. Very important timeline ነው። የመጨረሻ ማየው ወይ ማሳየት የምፈልገው past perfect continuous ከpresent perfect continuous እንዴት ይለያል? መቼ ነው ሁለቱን ቴንሶች የምንጠቀምባቸው? of course present perfect continuous tense ጋር ከዚህ በፊት ተነጋግረን አልፈንበታል. you have some know how we use past the present perfect continuous tense. so I'm going to compare the two continuous or the two progressive tenses at the time of presentation here. The first timeline shows about past perfect continuous tense. አሁን የሁለቱን ፐርፌክት ኮንቲኒዩስ ቴንሶች ለማሳየት ነው የምፈልገው። ምንም እንኳን ፕሬዘንት ፐርፌክት ኮንቲኒዩስ ከዚህ በፊት ብንማረው አሁን ሁለቱን ለይተን የት ቦታ እንደምንጠቀም መለየትና መጠቀም እንድንችል፣ መጻፍ እንድንችል፣ ኮሚኒኬቲቭሊ መግባባት እንድንችልባቸው ማሳየት የምፈልገው እኔ። so the first timeline የሚያሳየን the past perfect continuous tense ነው። look here still the action begins from the past and stops in the past. no connected with now. ድርጊቱ እዚህ ጋር ኃላፊ ጊዜ ይጀምራል፣ እዚህ ጋር ፓስት ላይ ያቆማል። አሮዋ ወይም ቀስቷ ከታይም ኦፍ ስፒኪንግ ወይም ከአሁን ጊዜ ከፕሬዘንት ታይም ጋር ትገናኝ ማለት ነው። ይሄ የሚያሳየን the action begins from the past and stops from another past. yes ድርጊቱ ከኃላፊ ጊዜ ይጀምራል እስከ ኃላፊ ጊዜ ድረስ ይከናወን ይቆያል። past perfect tense እስከ ታይም ኦፍ ስፒኪንግ ጋር አያሳየንም ማለት ነው። had been plus ing እንጠቀምበታለን በዚህ ኮንቴክስት። ለምሳሌ I had been driving all day beginning from early in the morning until 8 in the afternoon ሊሆን ይችላል። ከጠዋት እስከ 8 ሰዓት ከሰዓት በኋላ ሳሽከረክር ቆይቻለሁ። beginning from the past beginning from one until another past but I am 12 ሰዓት ሊሆን ይችላል 1 ሰዓት ሊሆን ይችላል ወይም በሚቀጥለው ቀን ሊሆን ይችላል። ይሄን አረፍተ ነገር ኮንስትራክት ሳደርግ so I had been driving all day ሙሉ ቀን ሳሽከረክር ቆይቻለሁ። beginning from this time I have mentioned at the time being here so this shows the past perfect continuous tense. look it የቅድሙን አረፍተ ነገር ወደዚህ እናምጣው። the patient had been crying all night ይሄው patient had been crying all night mean beginning from 1 at night until 12 in the morning all night so past there is another past which is past perfect continuous tense but no one came to him ማለት አሁንም በተቀመጠለት ሰዓት ላይ ነው ማንንም ለህፃኑ ለህመምተኛው ያልደረሰለት አረፍተ ነገሩ የሚያሳየን ይሄን ኮንቴክስት ነው። so here whenever we come to present perfect continuous tense the form is have or has plus been plus ing ፎርማቸው ተመሳሳይነቱ ምንድነው? ቢንን ይጠቀማሉ። ቢን the word been what is be forms of verb ነው ይሄ the be forms of verb V3 or past participle form ነው so both present perfect and past perfect have common forms that is they use for being commonly but the auxiliary verb is different in the past perfect which is had and the present perfect have or has so the V2 or V3 forms of have or has is had so we can say had been plus ing which is the perfect forms of have or has that's why I'm talking about the past perfect continuous with the present perfect continuous tense. So here, when still I'm talking about the past perfect continuous tense, I just have been plus ing. So the arrow begins from the past and still connects with the time of speaking. So an action is still happening. An action is still happening. ይሄ የሚያሳየን ከዛኛው ጋር የሚለይበት ድርጊቱ እዚህ ጋር ኃላፊ ጊዜ ይጀምርና የድርጊቱ ውጤት ሳይሆን ድርጊቱ ራሱ ከታይም ኦፍ ስፒኪንግ ካሁን ጋር ይገናኛል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ከፓስት ፐርፌክት ኮንቲኒዩስ ቴንስ ይለያል። ለምሳሌ ይሄን ስታዩት ኮኔክት ያደርጋል። ልክ ፓስት ላይ አያቆምም ማለት ነው። ፓስት ላይ አያቆምም ማለት ነው። so look example sentence here the first one is present perfect continuous tense the second one is and the past perfect continuous tense ልዩነቶቹን አሳያለሁ። I am still waiting for the bus. I have been waiting the bus for 10 minutes. I am still waiting means I am still activating the activity. I have been waiting the bus for 20 minutes. yes ድርጊቱን እየፈጸምኩ ነው ያለሁት አሁን እኔ መኪናውን እየጠበቅኩ ነው ለ20 ደቂቃ ያክል መኪናውን በመጠበቅ ላይ ነኝ። ድርጊቱን እያሳየው ነው። ታይም ኦፍ ስፒኪንግ ጋር ይገናኛል። so present perfect continuous tense ነው። ሁለተኛው past perfect I was waiting for the bus. I have been waiting for 10 minutes. መኪናውን ስጠብቅ ቆይቻለሁ ለ20 ደቂቃ ያክል ስጠብቀው ቆይቻለሁ ነው የሚስ I'm talking about the progressive knows the continuous at the time of speaking so they are absolutely different from the two perfect tenses. Second example here he's tired now he has been running. I'm talking about this time አሁን ደክሜያለሁ ምክንያቱም ብዙ ጊዜ ወይም ለረጅም ጊዜ ስሮጥ ቆይቻለሁ እየሮጥኩ ነበር ወይ በመሮጥ ላይ ነኝ I'm in the middle of doing the activity so I have been running it means I was tired or he was tired because he had been running ደክሞት ነበር because ሲሮጥ ቆይቷል ማለት ነው ሲሮጥ ቆይቷል so present perfect continuous tense and past perfect continuous tense they are different and we can just use these two perfect continuous tenses in different contexts in different ways as I told you before when we are talking about the past perfect with that was the present perfect so we can just use these two perfect tense in different contexts as I told you before please so these are all about lesson 20 which is the past perfect continuous tense so we can just use these tense as we want to express our feelings our opinion and something like that. Thank you.